Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on, everybody? This is Joseph Collin coming to you with your AEW Full Gear Review on Sunday, November 8th, 2020. Before we talk about anything Full Gear, I just want to say that I am sorry that I did not give a review to you guys last night. I got home from a buddy's around 12:15 a.m. and I was just so exhausted. I was like, it's 12:15. My review's going to take at least 30 minutes. If I upload it, it's not going to get up till 1 a.m. And I imagine that nobody was going to watch it. So I imagine it'd be more better if I did it in the morning, got my rest, and did it then. So I'm glad I did it here in the morning because I'm feeling much not exhausted. And I just watched some of the matches again. And boy, watching it better the second time was better than watching it the first time. Like what I mean by that is, while I watched it the first time, it was fun. It was great. I watched it again and I enjoyed the matches even more because I either forgot what happened in some of the matches or I just didn't even know. Like this morning, I watched the Bucks and FTR again. Last night, I said my favorite match was Omega and Hangman Page that started the show. And then this morning, I changed it to the Bucks and FTR because that match was a masterpiece. That was a masterpiece, and I can't wait to talk about it. Full Gear overall, though. Full Gear overall was an excellent show. Excellent pay-per-view from AEW last night. You could tell every person on the card came to work for AEW. They came to work, and one thing that I love that AEW tried to do all night was they tried to have the next match top the match before that, and then before that, and then before that. Like, some matches I was like, okay, it's going to be very hard. Like, I'll talk about it with the Cassidy Silver match. Like, that came right after the Omega Hangman match, and it was like, okay, this match is going to be impossible to up Omega and Page. And for what it was good. So we'll talk about that as well. And before we do, let's just get into the review. Let's just get started with the review. I'm not even going to talk about the buy-in match. It was Serena Deeb defeating Allison Kay for the NWA Women's Championship. But, I mean, for time's sakes, I'm just going to get started with the main show, which started off with Kenny Omega, and Adam Hangman Page in the finals of the AEW World Championship Tournament. This match went about 17 minutes, and I could have watched them going on for 30 minutes. That's how good this match was. This was an awesome start to the show, and I said it on Thursday for my preview predictions. I said, if I'm AEW, I'm starting the show with Kenny Omega and Hangman Page. And I said it here, folks. AEW listened to your boy. So I don't know if they really listened to me, but I pitched that idea on Thursday's show with the preview and predictions. So they started the show with Omega and Page. It was an awesome match. Back and forth stuff. Great back and forth. It was very hard hitting. There was one point of the match where Omega got powerbombed by Hangman Page. And I swear to God, man, his head bounced off like a freaking basketball. And it was so goddamn scary to watch. It was freaking scary to watch. I did not like that scene whatsoever. And then they did it again in the ring. It wasn't much bad as worse. It wasn't worse. That's what I'm trying to say. But my God, that incident, that was scary as hell. But it's Kenny Omega, so he'll be fine. And then at the end, Omega ducks a buckshot lariat, hits a V-trigger, hits another V-trigger, hits the one-winged angel, and Kenny Omega defeats Adam Hangman Page here at Full Gear. Like I said, man, this was the perfect match to open up the show. It opened up. It was freaking awesome. Kenny Omega won. I said I thought it was going to be Hangman Page, but I mean, sometimes I like when I'm wrong. And in this instance, I like when I'm wrong. Kenny Omega, you're building up this new cleaner for Kenny Omega, and you can't have him lose in this new heel run that he's on right now. So he's not really a heel technically, but we know it's coming soon. So Kenny Omega for the win. Then we get John Silver versus Orange Cassidy. This match was surprisingly very good. And what I mean, like, surprisingly, I mean surprisingly. After that great, awesome match between Omega and Hangman Page, this match did not deserve to be as good as it was. This match was originally supposed to be on the buy-in, and I'm glad they shifted onto the main card because it was very good. It was a very good match. We all know, I think most of us know, that Orange Cassidy can work. Orange Cassidy is a very good wrestler, and he's great. He's really great too in the AEW roster. But John Silver put on his best match ever in AEW last night. Freaking lifting Orange Cassidy up with one arm, slamming him to the mat, and then knee strikes consecutively into a German suplex. Then Orange Cassidy had the orange punch into Strong Zero, and Orange Cassidy got the win. This was a very good match at Full Gear. But like I said, this was surprisingly very good. And I'm happy that it was on the main card at the end of the day. And now I'm a big fan of John Silver, and I'm hoping that, AEW gives him a little bit of a push as a singles guy, maybe. So I'm not sure what they'll do that, but I was very happy with the performance of John Silver. Then we got the TNT Championship. The TNT Championship between Darby Allin and Cody. This was, again, a match that I watched this morning, and I liked it watching the second time better than the first time. This was really good. They told a good story in this match. Cody kept going at the right arm of Darby Allin. He kept going at his arm and, grounding it and locks and all that stuff. Then we get both guys on the top rope. Cody hits a avalanche crossroads all the way from the top rope. We've never seen this before, but Darby Allin's hand was under the bottom rope. His hand was under the bottom rope. Cody couldn't believe it. Arn Anderson could not believe it. Then both guys were on the top rope. Darby has some sort of sleeper on Cody. Cody jumps off the top for a coffin drop just to let go of Darby. Then Darby hits his DDT. Or stunner, my bad. He hits a stunner. And then he hits a coffin drop on Cody. And Cody kicked out. So Cody kicked out. And I thought for sure, after Cody kicked out of the coffin drop, that Cody was going to retain the TNT Championship, like I had originally thought. But then we get a series of roll-ups. Darby kicks out. Cody kicks out. Darby kicks out. Cody does not kick out at the next roll-up. Darby Allin is the new TNT champion, folks. He is the new TNT champion. I did not see this coming whatsoever. Like I said with the last match, I knew this match was going to be very good. This match was actually really good. It's actually a really good match, but I was shocked as hell when Darby Allin became the new TNT champion here at Full Gear. Then Cody takes the belt. And for some reason, I thought this kind of reminded me of the what happened at Double or Nothing with Cody and Dustin. When Dustin was laying on the turnbuckle, Cody was staring at him. He told him to get up. Then Cody got on one knee, and he gifted Darby Allin the TNT Championship in his grasp. He had the TNT Championship. He put it over his shoulder. Taz came out. He said, enough with the bullshit. I might need a plastic bag because I'm about to vomit. You won the TNT Championship, Darby. Congratulations. You should act like you've been there before, but oh wait, you've never been there before. So you and the Prince need to get yourselves out of this ring and back into the locker room. So then this set up an attack from Brian Cage and Ricky Starks on Darby Allin and Cody. They're fighting into the crowd. All four of them. Cage throws Cody into the stairwell. Starks, I think it was Starks, speared Darby Allin through the Full Gear sign. So he went through there. Then Cage picked him up. He went on to Darby's car. And he placed Darby Allin's car, his arm, in between the car door and the car. So Cage was going to snap Darby's arm off. But Will Hobbs, came in just in time with a steel chair and ran off Team Taz. So it doesn't seem like he didn't accept his offer. Darby Allin's a new TNT champion. I did not expect that at all, but we can get a series of matches. We can get some damn really good matches with Darby Allin as the TNT champion. I don't know what Cody is going to be doing right now, but I'm guessing he's going to be in this feud with Darby Allin and Team Taz. So we could still get Darby and Cody for the TNT championship. Brian Cage and Darby Allin for the TNT championship. Ricky Starks and Darby Allin again for the TNT championship. Then you could throw somebody in there like a Scorpio Sky or a Shawn Spears. There's a lot of potential matches you can get with Darby Allin as the TNT champion. So now he's the champion, I'm excited for the future of the TNT championship and what's going to happen with it, with Darby as the TNT champion. So very good stuff here. We then got into Nyla Rose versus Hikaru Shida. And this match, if there was one match that I did not like, it was probably this match. This match was very lackluster in my opinion. I didn't care from the start going into it. I really did not care about it at all. You know, the beginning was good. Like, the beginning of this portion of the match was fairly decent. But at the ending, it just dragged a little bit. And I just kind of wanted it to be over. It got lackluster. And I just didn't care. And, you know, we had a drama with Nyla Rose bumping into Vicky Guerrero. And that costed them the match. Shida went for a top rope Falcon Arrow, which was cool. And then she went onto a running knee and retained the women's championship. But you got to put more focus on the women's championship on the build to pay-per-views, AEW. I did not... The build affected how much I cared about this match. And it kind of affected the match overall because... To me, this was, I don't mean to be rude, but to me, this was a piss break match. It really was. And, you know, you just got to put more focus on the women's championship. Now, Britt Baker, she's a very entertaining character in AEW. Probably the best heel in the women's division. So maybe when sliding her into the women's championship scene, hopefully we could get more build to the Baker Sheeta match. That's probably going to happen at Revolution. We can get that match more build than we did with the Sheeta and Nyla Rose match here at Full Gear. So Hikaru Shida retained the women's championship. And then we got into my favorite match of the night. Unbelievable stuff from the Young Bucks and FTR for the AEW Tag Team Championships. This was a frigging masterpiece. I'm not going to say it was close. It was very close. But I'm not going to say it was better than the Young Bucks and Omega and Page. Was this one of my favorite matches of the year? Yes. Yes, this was. In-ring match, this was one of my favorite matches of the entire year. It just had everything. It had great spots. This was basically a tribute to all of the great tag teams to ever wrestle in professional wrestling. Like, these teams hit finisher moves from Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard. The Young Bucks hit a 3D like the Dudleys. The Hardys, the Young Bucks hit a Twist of Fate into a Swanton Bomb. So, a tribute to the Hardy Boys, a tribute to the Hart Foundation. The Revival, FTR did a tribute to DIY, going back to their great classic at NXT TakeOver Toronto 2016. And then I wrote Pete Dunne in here because Matt Jackson did the finger snap of Dax Harwood's right hand, which was busted open during the course of this match. But if you guys think that the Young Bucks are just freaking spot monkeys and all they do is fly and they don't slow down the pace, you are wrong, okay? You are wrong. Just watch this match. Just watch this match between the Young Bucks and FTR. The storytelling was awesome. The storytelling of this match was awesome. And what was even better was the ending. The ending was so much better. So you had Matt Jackson getting a steel chair. You got Dax Harwood saying, hit me in the chair. Hit me in the head with the chair. You got the official and Nick Jackson trying to say, don't do it. Don't do it, Matt. Don't do it. Then Matt picks up the chair. He throws it to the side. They go for the Meltzer driver. They don't connect. Dax Harwood Dax Harwood spears Nick Jackson. Dax Harwood tags himself in Cash Wheeler tags himself into the match. FTR hits a brainbuster or a mindbreaker. They hit a mindbreaker. I swear to God, I thought this was it. They hit the mindbreaker, and I was like, it's over. FTR is going to retain the championships. Matt Jackson gets his right foot on the rope. And then Dax gets taken out. Cash tags himself in. Cash is like too sweet. Then he puts up the middle finger. Super kicks Matt Jackson. He had a chance to cover him right there. But Cash Wheeler, FTR is all about no flips, just fist. Well, Cash Wheeler did a flip, and it costed him at the end. Because Matt Jackson hit a super kick with the bad leg, the bad ankle, and it got him and the Young Bucks the victory and the AEW World Tag Team Championships. This was such a great moment. This was a great moment. Was this match worth 6 years of waiting? Yes. This was worth 6 years of waiting, folks. This was absolutely a masterpiece. This was a freaking masterpiece. Probably one of my favorite AEW matches of the year. No lying to you right there. So, at the end, the Young Bucks are celebrating. They're celebrating with their new AEW Tag Team Championships. Omega comes out to congratulate the Young Bucks. He's with the Young Bucks. He raises their hand. They finally did it. They won the big one. And then all you see is Hangman Page on the babyface tunnel. He's standing there and he looks depressed. Hangman Page does not look happy that the Young Bucks defeated FTR for the Tag Team Championships. So now this is my question. This is my question to you guys. I want you to leave this in the comments down below. Is AEW swerving us? We all thought that Kenny Omega's going to turn heel. He's building up as this big cleaner. At the end of the day, is Hangman Page going to be the one to turn heel and join forces with FTR? I want your answer down in the comments of this very review. So this was a masterpiece, and this was my favorite part. This was my favorite match on the entire show. Then we got the Elite Deletion match between Sammy Guevara and Matt Hardy. And this match just goes out to prove to you how creative Matt Hardy is. How creative of a guy that Matt Hardy is. This was very fun to watch. Like, really fun. You had Santana and Ortiz get involved. Private Party got in the mix as well, helping Matt Hardy. Hell, we even got an appearance from... We even got an appearance from Hurricane Helms and Gangrel. That was freaking unexpected, but funny at the same time. There's a lot of laughter in this match. And then I'm just going to get to finish right here. They have a table and a ladder. Sammy puts Matt through the table. And I thought it was it. But Matt kicked out. Then they go back to the incident at All Out, which was a little risky. But this time Matt speared Sammy through the table. And then that was pretty much it right there. Sammy took the loss here in the Elite Deletion. Then Matt Hardy calls over Private Party, and they put Sammy in the dumpster. They put him in the back of the trunk. He says, "Take him away." And in the driver's seat was Senior Benjamin. So that was that match. I thought this was very fun. This was a very fun Elite Deletion match. Very creative. It was funny, entertaining, and it just goes to show you how creative a guy Matt Hardy really is. So that is the last chapter of Matt Hardy and Sammy Guevara. Sammy Guevara has been deleted by Matt Hardy. Then we get Chris Jericho versus MJF. And if MJF won, he would join the Inner Circle. And this is another match that I watched again this morning. Because I didn't really remember much from it last night, to be honest. But it was slow. Yes, it was slow. But it was very good. Like, there's matches that don't need to be high-paced. Certainly Jericho doesn't work a high-paced match. But this was very good with the pace they worked with and the story they told. It was a very old-school wrestling match. Very old-school wrestling match, like I knew it was going to be. The finish was great. This might have been the best. I don't think it was better than the finish of the Bucks and FTR. But this finish was very good. So, you got MJF gets the diamond ring from Wardlow. He puts it on. He goes to punch Jericho. Jericho ducks. And then he gets the baseball bat from Jake Hager. Aubrey is trying to get Wardlow down from the ramp. MJF falls. He pulls an Eddie Guerrero. Jericho has the bat. Aubrey turns around. Jericho just drops the bat, which I thought was freaking hilarious. I really thought that was hilarious watching it a second time around. Aubrey is getting ready to disqualify Jericho, but MJF rolls up Chris Jericho. He pins Chris Jericho for the win, and then Jericho says, we'd like to welcome MJF and Wardlow into the inner circle. And then they walked up to the stage, and they all raised each other's hands. So the inner circle is now getting MJF and Chris Jericho. And I'm happy they didn't kick Jericho out tonight. I'm happy they didn't, because there's so much you can do with this. Like, it's just very unpredictable what's going to happen in this storyline between MJF and the inner circle. It really is. And I like that. I like that a lot. You don't need to break them up right now. You can carry this on for months and months and months. You can carry this on for a long time. You can even have Jericho and MJF go after the tag team championships if you want to. Have fun with it. So, I just like the fact that it's very unpredictable what's happening next. And I kind of like that aspect. So, we shall see where this MJF and Chris Jericho Inner Circle story goes. And then we got to the main event. The main event. This was the match I was looking forward to the most. I quit for the AEW World Championship. Jon Moxley versus Eddie Kingston for the World Championship. This match was freaking brutal. I knew there was going to be blood. I knew there was going to be violence. And there was violence, folks. They had barbed wire, steel chairs, trash cans, thumbtacks. This was a violent match. It almost gave me flashbacks to the Lights Out match from last year between Jon Moxley and Kenny Omega. It wasn't as violent as that match, but it was still pretty violent, and it was a great match. It was a great match, but I did not like the outcome. I kind of knew that after Kenny Omega won the match with Hangman, I kind of knew that Jon Moxley was going to win this match, which kind of upset me because I was really pulling for Eddie Kingston to become the new AEW World Champion. The guy deserves it. The guy absolutely deserves it, man. He really does. Going from broke, having to sell his wrestling clothes, to being in the main event of an AEW pay-per-view for the World Championship, that's a tremendous story. And it would have been a great moment I don't care if he's a heel, okay? It would have been a great underdog moment if Eddie Kingston became the world champion. I still hope he becomes a world champion one day, but obviously, AEW did not want to pull the trigger on Moxley yet because they wanted to set up Kenny Omega versus Moxley for the World Championship, probably at Revolution. So we'll see what happens there. The match was brutal. You got thumbtacks around. Moxley was about to paradigm shift Kingston onto the thumbtacks, but Kingston gave him a belly-to-belly onto the thumbtacks. You got thumbtacks sticking from Jon Moxley's head, from back. And then, speaking of his head, Kingston picks up a pile of thumbtacks and he throws them at Jon Moxley. And this was so disgusting because actually 3 thumbtacks were on top of the head of Jon Moxley. That was freaking brutal. I kind of cringed at that when I looked and he had 3 thumbtacks on his head. But at the end of the match, Moxley had the Bulldog choke in. He had barbed wire wrapped around the neck of Eddie Kingston. And then I swear to God, I didn't even hear him say, "I quit." But then he was like, "I quit. I quit." So Kingston said, "I quit," very softly. So maybe Eddie Kingston gets himself out of the situation and he says, "I didn't really say I quit, but I went back and watched it," and he did, unfortunately, say "I quit." So that's the review, and that was Full Gear. Overall, this was an excellent pay-per-view. And I'm going to go as far as saying my favorite pay-per-view of 2020. But ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap it up here for the Full Gear review. I want to thank each and every single one of you who tuned into the review. Subscribe to the Big Fight Fuel channel, man. We're trying to get to 250 subscribers very soon. So if you've not subscribed already, hit the damn subscribe button. Comment down below what you thought of Full Gear last night. Hit that like button if you like what I had to say about the Full Gear review. Follow me on Twitter at Colin_Joseph. And I will see you guys tomorrow night for your Raw review right here on the Big Fight Fuel channel. Have a good night, or have a good day, and stay safe.